Geralt, can we go?
Can you restore my memory?
I'd have to examine you. There's a good chance your memory will return on its own.
How much chance?
It's difficult to say. It might help if I knew what caused you to lose your memory.
Well, no time for that now.
Geralt, can we go?
The theft. What are its possible consequences?
Most sorcerers and rulers would sell their greedy, power-hungry souls to get the mutagens. Only a master of the arcane arts can use that knowledge. Not many of those left.
What about wealthy merchants, dukes, kings?
Perhaps. Anything's possible, but speculating wastes time. We just don't have enough information.
True.
Geralt, can we go?
I need to do something. I'll come back and get you when I'm ready.
What is it, Wolf?
Any thoughts on the attackers?
Amateurs. If not for the mage and the frightener, we'd have beaten them blindfolded.
But they had a mage and a frightener. They robbed us and killed Leo.
True, but we'll find them.
Leo said he almost defeated you.
We were sparring when that storm arrived. My medallion jerked so hard I almost fell. The boy saw an opening. He certainly had potential. Then Marigold appeared, shaking, delirious. She insisted we chase the wild hunt. Vesemir agreed. He always had a soft spot for her.
You dislike Triss?
She's too pretentious for my taste.
Can you tell me about the fighting styles Witchers use?
The art of combat involves 3 traditional sword-fighting styles, plus a few variations designed for combating monsters.
Start with the basic styles.
Kaer Morhen is the wolf school. Old Vesemir always made sure we trained more as warriors than mages, though we also learned the signs. Witches employ 3 fighting styles. There's Aden Enye, the fiery dancer, which we call the fast style. The Viruleden Nefde Fendlediv, the group style. And the Temerian devil, the strong style. Which style do you want to hear about?
The fiery dancer sounds interesting.
The legendary elven swordsman and poet Nisael created it, basing the system of steps and cuts on his observations of wildcats, especially the ocelots that elven rulers used as palace guards. The fiery dancer favors speed and agility over strength of blows. Opponents simply don't have the time to strike back. The ideal swordsman is a flame that cannot be hurt and inflicts wounds each time it is touched. Nisael himself wrote that. The style is popular among the elven aristocracy. Which style do you want to hear about?
Tell me about the Viruleden style.
Literally translated, it is the Nine-Sun Sword style. The swordsmen of Viruledo developed it as a method for tackling several opponents through complex slashing sequences. They say masters of this style can fight 9 opponents simultaneously. Which style do you want to hear about?
Temerian devil sounds familiar.
Sounds poetic, but there's little or no philosophy involved. Devised by Temerian landsknechts, simple men. It's best against heavy armored opponents. Which style do you want to hear about?
I think I've heard enough.
All right.
Can you tell me about the fighting styles Witchers use?
The art of combat involves 3 traditional sword-fighting styles, plus a few variations designed for combating monsters.
I wouldn't mind hearing about monster fighting techniques.
You noticed we carried 2 swords? That's because some monsters are immune to steel. A normal sword won't cut them.
For instance?
Werewolves, vampires, genies, and other magical beasts. The techniques for fighting with a silver sword derive from traditional swordsmanship, but there are a few essential differences. No parries and ripostes, mainly steps, evasive moves, spins, and other acrobatics.
I'll be in trouble if I don't get my memory back.
You'll be all right, Wolf. Your body will recall all it needs to. Certain things you never forget. Trust your intuition when choosing your fighting style. The Devil's best against Kikimors, Graviers, and Fledders. The Fiery Dancer is absolutely superb against Barghests and Ghouls. And the Veriledon? Anything that attacks in groups, but initially limited to drowners.
Thanks, Lambert.
No problem, Wolf.
We'll speak later.
Need anything, Wolf?
I have some questions.
What is it?
What do I use as the base for my potion?
Alcohol. The better it is, the purer and more powerful your potion.
You seem to feel at home here.
Well, I've always preferred an armory to a lab. Though Vesemir plays up the importance of potions, he's hardly an expert. After all, he's always taught swordplay. Still, he tries to teach us everything he learned when he was young, and that was a while back. But to be honest, I don't care for all these powders, mushrooms, and other trash.
Couldn't Triss have helped with Leo's mutation?
Maybe. It's a little more complicated than that. See, we've never shown her the lab, and the last mutation was completed years ago, before the battle. Vesemir can tell you more.
I'll talk to Vesemir.
How can I help?
Couldn't Triss have helped with...
Maybe.
You really think Triss never used magic to peek inside?
She respects our secrets, and she's done a lot for us. For you. I trust her.
So why haven't you shown her the lab?
Triss would like to use our secrets to heal people and such. I've no doubt she'd try, but it's never that simple. Ever heard of the gnome Alfred Nabel?
Eskel, I have amnesia.
An incomparable inventor, like most of his race. Through years of research, he discovered an amazing substance. He intended it for use in mines and quarries. Though a genius, Alfred failed to foresee his invention's possible applications. Others quickly realized that a substance designed to rip granite from the ground could destroy castle walls. Some even considered using it in open battle.
I get it. So what happened to Alfred's discovery?
Mages stopped it from spreading. Alfred committed suicide, and his lab burned down.
Tell me about the trial of the grasses.
It's a 3-stage process. The first is the choice. Leo completed it, enduring the hard training and diet.
I presume it's more than your basic lettuce and carrots.
Special mushrooms, mosses, and herbs are grown in the lab. Combined with training, they accelerate muscle growth and digestion, improving the body's general condition.
Does everyone pass the first stage?
Unfortunately not. The liver and heart often fail, the mind sometimes too, resulting in excessive aggression.
What's the second stage?
The trial of the grasses. More idiotic tales have been conjured up about that than about princesses and dwarves. Before the raid, the lab contained vials, hearths, formulae, herbs, and the grasses. A mage and his magic were all that was lacking.
Did you ever witness a trial?
Just one, our own. I thought I was going to lose it when your hair turned white. The grasses affect the nervous system, so magic must control the process. The trial results in lightning-fast reflexes, reaction times normal people will never attain. Only 4 out of 10 survive.
Quite a cut. And the last stage?
I don't know the specifics. It involves changes like the mutation of the eyes, the bone marrow, hormones. In exchange, we see in the dark, heal much faster than ordinary folk, and gain increased resistance to poison.
Interesting. What's the cost?
We're infertile.
The changes are irreversible?
Entirely.
Did you see the magic storm?
Yes, I was out hunting. Just before the storm came, a swarm of nightjars took flight. Hundreds of them. Gray streaks across the sky, trilling wildly. Usually less of them gather, and their cries rarely sound so desperate. When the storm came, I gave up the hunt and headed toward Kaer Morhen. Met the others on the way.
We'll talk later. defending common folk. Inspiring. Seems witches have always been better with a sword than with a paintbrush. Witcher George, slaying the dragon.
Yes?
Can I ask you something?
Of course.
Who was Leo?
One of hundreds of orphans of the war with Nilfgaard. I apprenticed him 6 years ago.
I'm sorry.
We'll recover our secrets and find Leo's murderers, even if they fled to the end of the world.
Can I ask you something?
Of course.
You mentioned defending Kaer Morhen before.
Yes. 15 witchers once lived here, training boys for their trials. Only they knew the secrets of mutation. Witchers who set out on the path and failed to assimilate among humans wintered here. Before the battle, 23 witchers and 40 students called Kaer Morhen home. Too damned few for the mob that attacked. I never knew why they came. Some say a sudden explosion of anger born of disdain for witchers. But no. Someone provoked the mob with flyers filled with lies. Special agents read them to the peasants. Truer still, the fanatics could never have taken the fort without the aid of sorcerers, though they outnumbered us by far. They didn't even spare the youngest. I alone survived, concealed among the corpses. Walk around, Wolf. The skeletons remain. You may find a flyer, there used to be hundreds. Memorize it as a warning of the evil humans can perpetrate.
Can I ask you something?
Of course.
Any idea who attacked?
No, but the mage suggests no ordinary bandits. We found pins adorned with salamanders on the dead. The symbol of their organization, perhaps? I sense hard times ahead.
We'll speak later. All that's missing is a mage who'd know how to use this. Mosses and grasses. The smell is heady.